Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Good morning or good afternoon to some of the attendees. What I would like to share with you is our vision on how Cyprus can become and is gradually picking up for becoming an attractive sciences, ICT, and startups hub. In effect, during the past couple of years, Cyprus is enjoying a great acknowledgement and recognition by the international scientific and technology community as a regional center for sciences and technology in the research and innovation. But let me put things into perspective. Cyprus is a very small, a tiny country of less than 1 million people population. It's a member state of the European Union in the Eastern Mediterranean corner of Europe, and is the crossroads between Middle East, Asia, North Africa, and Europe. This geographic or even geopolitical position of Cyprus, combined with the great asset of our intellectual capital that we have, our people, our highly educated workforce, positions Cyprus as a key regional player for headquartering of ICT companies, offering access to high growth markets like the European markets, but also it's an attractive relocation destination for ICT professionals. Just to put things into perspective, today there are more than 10,000 ICT professionals, expats, working in Cyprus, either for international companies or as freelancers. As I said before, Cyprus is a gateway into and out of the European Union. And also we are working on preparing a very aggressive and very useful sandbox for emerging technologies on blockchain, artificial intelligence, big data. In blockchain, we're on passing through the parliament in the next few months, legislation that will be governing the use and the exploitation of distributed ledger technologies. And this, combined with our international broadband connectivity, gives us a great advantage to be ready and dare to have our vision as a fit for the future accessible and inclusive society. We're working on a new sustainable development model for competitiveness and social prosperity that is based on research, innovation, and technological advancement. Although Cyprus is very well known for its sun and sea destination, it's a paradise for tourism. It's not just that, it's also a knowledge-based dynamic economy that is quite competitive and is established as a regional player for the reasons that I've explained before. In enhancing our position as a regional hub, we're working on introducing a new revamped framework that will be an enhancement of the existing framework. And in particular, we're working on the institutional environment, in other words, the regulatory playing field, fiscal and tax immigration policies, the market sophistication, the banking environment. That is one of the key pillars that we are currently under revision in collaboration with Invest Cyprus, so that within the next few weeks, this will be approved by the Ministerial Council and we will have a new framework that is an extension and enhancement of the existing one, which is already, by the way, a very attractive one. Another pillar of our framework is the human capital, attracting and retaining talent, and broadening our local talent pool as well. Infrastructure, of course, is important. And when I say infrastructure, it's not just the technology infrastructure, but it's also the housing, the city's infrastructure, the ecological sustainability. As Cyprus, although it's a country of less than 1 million people, local population has more than 4 million tourists, with the exception of the pandemic situation that we didn't get these numbers, but also is the home for a lot of international companies already. And there is a population just in one city, Limassol city, there is a population of expats of about 50,000 as working in the technology sector. And of course, we need to position our regional role as a technology hub and we are working in collaboration with Invest Cyprus for a holistic country branding as a technology hub. I will get into a bit more of detail on the framework. For example, one of the interventions that we're working on is digital nomad visa for remote work in international companies, as well as for individuals, and also work permit for spouses. Also, we're revamping our utilization of the EU Blue Card, which is the right to live and work in any EU country for qualifying professionals. Simplify and digitalize the processes for the Civil Register and Migration Department so that the welcoming of the application process of interested parties is digital and very straightforward. The naturalization process is another important aspect. Currently, it has a 7 years horizon. We are working towards give a priority application processing for technology professionals and reduction of legal residence time required for naturalization from 7 years. We are discussing for 5 years now, but it's not yet finalized. So this is, I cannot commit on that. The tax framework is another a very important incentive that is already in place, and we are enhancing it, but for extending the 50% exception for non-residents working in Cyprus, currently from 100K to a number much lower than the 100K. The 100K is already in place today. Extend the tax exemption for investing in innovative companies to companies which is currently is applicable for physical persons only. We will also extend this to companies that they want to invest and acquire shares. We are also introducing exceptions for research and development expenditure or operating costs for companies that are having their operations in Cyprus in the domain of research and development, and also reduce their increased deductions for research and development expenditures. So I'm just giving you a kind of an overview of what things that we are currently working on so that Cyprus is among the top countries in Europe for becoming a regional hub for technology companies, especially ICT. The interventions for enhancing the talent pool is probably the most difficult one because this takes much more time. Upskilling and reskilling the local talent, digital and transversal skills, professional certifications. It is well known that for specific domains of the ICT sector, especially cybersecurity, data scientists, etc., there is a shortage all over Europe, and the same exists in Cyprus. So we are introducing an upskilling, reskilling plan, a very aggressive one, so that we minimize this skills gap, which exists in Cyprus as well as all over Europe. We're also aligning our educational curriculum. University, we have a lot of private and public universities, 6 private universities, 3 public universities in Cyprus. We're aligning the educational curriculum for promoting the science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics education, linking the output of the university to the needs of the industry, especially the ICT sector that we aspire to bring to Cyprus. In terms of startups, this is another domain that Cyprus is enjoying very high visibility, and we have a very successful track record, but we are also enhancing that with specific interventions like the fast startup creation in 1 day with less than 100 euros as smooth market entry, the cost of setting up a new startup, attracting and retaining talents from all over the world. We are about to introduce the visa within 1 month incentive. Stock options issue with non-voting rights recognized and subject to capital gains tax at cash receipt, not upon investment. Innovation in regulation, regulatory sandboxes exceptions, innovation procurement exception or special provisions for startups, access to finance through EU programs and other policies to attract private capital. So startups is a high focus area for Cyprus, and we are working on that. There are specific digital first key focus areas that I would like to share with you as well, because this is a business opportunity for investors in Cyprus. For example, we are undergoing a very transformative project for developing digital public services, which is the redesign of the service delivery model for public services through the introduction of a digital services factory, which is the industrialization of producing government services. We are changing the way of interaction with the government. We are following the UK model, and we're collaborating with the Government Digital Services Agency of the United Kingdom so that we use the same interaction model. And also we have a fully approved by the Parliament legislation for digital signature and digital identification. Just to give you, for countries of the size of Cyprus, there are 200 million projects now under the Resilience Fund, Recovery and Resilience Fund, and there is another 350 million roughly from national funds projects for the digital transformation of the country. And certainly this is a huge business opportunity for ICT companies that they want to consider Cyprus as their home base for international businesses, but also going after these huge projects that are in the pipeline. Other horizontal interventions is the investor's journey. In collaboration with Invest Cyprus, we will promote the simplification and digitalization of all business-related processes. We're undergoing a very important judicial reform exercise, and we're introducing the one-stop shop for supporting foreign businesses wishing to relocate to Cyprus. That's all I wanted to share with you, and I look forward to see you in Cyprus, Invest Cyprus, as well as my ministry and the Ministry of Trade is at your disposal should you require additional information on how you can consider Cyprus for your international businesses. As I said, Cyprus is already an attractive destination. It's a technology regional hub, and we aspire that through the interventions that I've just mentioned, this will be enhanced. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best for a successful session today.